Hey guys, it's Kelsey and I'm here with round 2 for the Secret Not Secret Kit Club telephone YouTube hop. So we had so much fun doing this the first time around. As soon as we started posting our videos for the first round, we were already being organized for round 2. So this is my inspiration. I was first this time, so I got to pick my own inspiration. I did just go to Pinterest and look up some layery layouts that I thought would be nice and clean, easy and fun for me to do, but also something that the person behind me could then easily morph and kind of do whatever they wanted to do with. I wanted it layery, but I wanted to still kind of be clean with a easy direction to follow, but also to add or take away depending on what you want to do with it. And I thought this one was just perfect. So I am using One Canoe 2 Goldenrod. This is my How to Kill a Kit with Style for September. This is actually layout 1. You are probably seeing this after most of the layouts I've made with it, but this is layout 1. So I did just take one of my 12 by 12s. I gutted it because I wanted to use both patterns. I flipped the center portion over to the B side, matted it in some white, and then re-glued it to the frame for my entire background. So that was a really good way to get two of the 12 by 12 patterns on one layout without cutting into 2 sheets. So I really appreciate that because I don't have a whole lot of 12 by 12s for this collection. I love this collection and want to stretch it, so I really didn't want to cut into more than 1 sheet. So that was kind of my roundabout way of getting there. The rest of this is from the 6 by 6 paper pad. So that's another reason I really liked this inspiration sketch, because even though some of these layers appear to be larger than 6 by 6, they're layered in a way where you can use 6 by 6 paper and kind of cheat the system a little bit with the way it's layered to look like those papers are stretched and bigger than they are. So you'll see that if you're using 12 by 12s, this will be way easier. It's probably going to look really complicated the way I have to do it because I am using smaller pieces of paper. It takes me a minute to kind of get everything layered so all the gaps are covered. So sorry about that. That might drive you a little crazy, but I'm really pleased with how it turned out and that I was able to do this layering with a 6 by 6 paper pad. So I'm just going through the paper pad now and pulling out anything I might want to use. I really love the blue and the pink and the gold that I'm already working with, so I'm really just pulling from those papers, which is pretty much the whole paper pad. I really like this plaid piece that I'm going to use for the largest layer. It is almost exactly identical to the plaid shirt I am wearing in the photo, so I really wanted to make sure that was a large piece because it really reminds me of that day and that moment and that memory, because it looks really close to the plaid in my shirt, even if you can't really tell from the photo. So I really liked that. I'm just going and flipping the sketch. That's what I just did. I went on Litscape and I just inverted the photo because I do want to scrap it backwards because I am facing to the right, and it would just make sense to me to have that long banner piece anchoring my photo on the left hand side rather than the right. So I did just invert the sketch, so I already changed it in that way. So that was kind of fun. I was getting really confused when I was looking at the original and then trying to be like, okay, right, it's on this side, so I need to do it on this side, and keep flip-flopping back and forth. So I decided I would go ahead and just flip the photo that I was looking at. That way I could just copy it and it would already be in the correct place. So yeah, I decided now that I kind of have what I want to use for some of the larger layers, I really need to get my photo matted so I can start building from there. I really wanted this same smaller version of the background frame to be the largest frame around the photo. I really like how it pulled that pattern to the center of the page. I think that grounds my photo really nicely, and I like how it mimics, you know, the other pattern. So I did just matte the photo in white, and then I'm doing a larger layer of this pink, and then I just wanted a skinny layer of the strawberries. I really like that it brought the navy blue into the middle, but also has that little pop of the strawberries all the way around it. And it is a small enough print, with it being a 6 by 6 pattern, that you can tell there's strawberries with only a little bit of it showing. So I really like that too. That strawberry print could get really busy if you had a lot of it, but just seeing that little bit, you can see what it is, but it's also not busy. So I really liked it for those reasons. So I'm going to get that glued down. I already know I need to stretch this gold banner on the left, but I need to figure out some of the horizontal pieces that are going to be on here before I can figure out where I need to cut and stretch that. So that's why that looks a little short right now, but I'm working on it. The ephemera pack has these really cute little postcard ephemera. I really wanted to use this one that you see on the page now, but it ended up being just a little bit too big, so I go with something else, and you'll see that in a minute. I decide to use this tan kind of floral as that large horizontal strip. I thought it was going to be nice and neutral, but also have all the colors of the other paper in it to kind of ground everything. So that's going to be my large horizontal piece going across the page. There is a frame in the sketch, and I really liked that detail. Excuse me. So I want to make sure I have that, but this particular frame is kind of creamy. I don't know that you can really tell from looking at it here, but it was bothering me because it's against all these other patterns that are white based. So I do end up taking that cream frame off and cutting my own frame out of white cardstock. That way it would just match. But you'll see that in a minute. I definitely did want a doily over here. I really thought that would be a nice way to cover up a part of the gap of that banner. And it also gives me an automatic spot where I can start building some clusters. So I knew that was going to work out really well. I switched out that little sentiment for one of the cut aparts in the 6x6, and I really like that little navy piece to the right. It says, "What a wonderful day. I've never seen this one before." And I thought that was really sweet. It brought that navy into another area that's around the outside, because there's really not a whole lot of navy on this page. It is very pink. So I really like that it brought that in next to the photo. So I'm just going to keep building out from here. This is where I'm cutting a frame from this scrap piece of a card because it's the same white that I matted the photo in. So I thought, you know what, the cream frame's just bothering me. It's not going to work. I'm just going to cut my own frame, and I like this so much better. So that brings the frame in from the original sketch, and I'm a lot happier with that. So I'm going to go ahead and glue that down where it is in the sketch. Then I'll continue building from there. This is where I really try to stretch that background piece. I need it to be both wider and longer than it appears. So I am using that horizontal yellow banner on the left to stretch the gap to make it look wider. And then you'll end up seeing me stretch that horizontal piece I cut off from the top all the way down to the bottom and stretch it behind that tan floral horizontal piece. That way, by the time it's all glued down, it looks like a mess right now with me trying to paper piece all these smaller scraps. But by the time it's all said and done, that plaid's going to look like a much bigger piece than it actually is. So that's why it takes me a little bit to get this down. It would be much easier if I just had this paper in the size I needed. But I just wanted to show you guys, and that's another reason I really like this sketch, that you can get a lot of mileage out of your 6x6 paper pads. I know sometimes we accumulate them, but then they're hard to use. This is a really good way to use them up, because other than the one background that you saw me paper piece this little background together in, the rest of it's a 6x6 paper pad, so that's really exciting for me. Even this long branding strip you see me pull in, this yellow strip with the white pineapples, that's the branding strip from the background paper. So I only used one 12x12, and I used all of it. I used the A side for the frame, the B side for the middle portion, and the branding strip that you see me cutting a border strip out as a horizontal piece to anchor my page. So really enjoyed the process of this page and getting every little bit used up. So that just made me happy. I'm gonna go ahead and glue that down. I really liked using this 12x12 branding strip because it really helped make it look like I'm not using 6x6s, because you have this one uninterrupted strip that is not a 6x6 piece. So having that one piece that does run across the whole page kind of helps you forget how pieced together the rest of it is. So that helps a lot. It brought that yellow in somewhere else. I really only had the yellow in the banner, and then it's a little bit in the pink frame. But I really like that brought that yellow into one more area. So it's getting very pieced together now. I think I'm about to finally glue it down because it's a mismatched mess right now, the way it's kind of hodgepodged all together. But I think these pieces are all where they're supposed to be, so I'm getting it glued down so I could really work on it more and now I can actually start gluing things together. The biggest thing now is just make sure the few gaps I do have I end up covering up. So a large portion of that was covered up by my photo in that doily. I covered up a huge section with this little blue sentiment to the right. So really the only thing I have to cover up is that little gap to the right next to that sentiment, which I'm feeling like I'm going to build more off of anyways with embellishment, so I wasn't too worried about it. My sketch does have a little banner section in the upper right hand corner. It originally was in the upper left hand corner, but then of course I flipped my sketch, so for me it'll be the upper right hand corner. I do have my One Canoe hashtag sticker book. I did splurge and get the new one, and I am so excited. Thanks you to my brother Thomas for giving me my gift card that I splurged on scrapbook.com. So I am very happy to have that new hashtag sticker book, and I get a lot of use out of it this page, so you'll see me pull that in more and more. I did try and just do that bannering area with a die with some of the cut apart pieces, or maybe cutting some scraps into some banners, which I also did. But then I realized, hey, I have my hashtag sticker book, I might as well pull that out and just use banners from that. So I am going through my ephemera right now to see what I might want to pull in. I have that adorable sheet of puffy stickers that I might want to pull in. So I'm going through those right now to see what I might want, and then I will pull out the hashtag sticker book, and that's when I really decide where I want to go with this. I really like what I was thinking as I was going through the die-cuts. You'll see me play with a few things. I loved some of these houseplants. I loved that little bumblebee. We are outside. We're on Hawaii. This is that trail ride we did in Jurassic Valley. Again, if you've seen some of my other layouts, you'll get tired of me saying this, but if you are new and you haven't seen this, this is that field where in Jurassic Park they were running from all those small dinosaurs. They jump behind that tree and hide, and it is also where Lost was filmed. It's also where Jurassic World was filmed. That mountain in the background is the volcano from the movie Jurassic World, so that kind of gives you a reference. If you remember some of these ridge lines, that's why they look familiar. So that was really cool to see, but that's also why I wanted to pull in some of these plants. It just kind of gave me that jungle vibe, even though they're planted in vases like they're house plants. I just really enjoyed how they looked on this page. When I pulled in that hashtag sticker book, they had a really cute set of those like green hunter boots, and I thought those were perfect because we're riding horses, so I decided that was a perfect size to cover up the rest of the gap. It brought that green into another area, so I stuck them down there, and then I did just use a scallop circle punch to kind of round out that little clustery area with the boots. There was some gold foiled on clear sticker stock stickers, and there was a strip that had some triangles, excuse me, so you saw me cut that into 2 pieces, and I kind of have a longer strip down on the bottom right part of the page, and that little section you can really see shining in the light on the upper left hand. So I think that looks really cool, brings some glimmer into the page, adds a little bit more detail. I narrowed it down to this one house plant, and then I wanted one pair of sunglasses, and I really liked the way these pink ones looked, so I did just pop them up on some foam and layer them on top of that little house plant on the left side. But now that I have those pink sunglasses, I was like, hey, I want a little something pink on the right side as well. So I did go through the hashtag sticker book. They had a whole sheet of word stickers, so I pulled one that says love in the pink, matted it on some white cardstock so it was a little bit more substantial, and popped that up on some foam as well. And now I'm going through the thicker sheet for goldenrod. Loved all the stickers on here. There are a couple other titles I was thinking about. I loved that exhale in that pretty pink. I thought there was so much pink on this page, though it might blend in. So I was looking more at the gold titles. I was looking at what a wonderful day or what a beautiful day, one of those sentiments that's on there, but it was just too big for my layers. So I ended up just going with this gold seek, and I think that's beautiful. I think it goes with the story. Design-wise, I think it looks really nice. I was going to have it at the top there, bridging the gap between the frame and the banner, but it kind of was adding a 4th area, and I really wanted to stick to 3 areas for my visual triangle. So I moved it down and then added some hearts. And this is the completed page, so I love how this turned out. I cannot wait to see what the rest of the girls in my group did. Tomorrow is Christina. I will link everybody who is playing along in my group below, as well as when they post, so you can all play along and watch us follow and how this morphs. This was so much fun. Thanks guys for watching. Bye.